Smoke. 4, 3, 2, 1. We've got RIP takeoff. We've got RIP takeoff out there. Welcome to another edition of the Self Love Show, the absolute best show on the internet. Bottom line, Self Love Show. It's lessons, not lectures. We always ask that you guys take this time to go ahead and share this link, post it on all social media platforms. Split brain, you may have heard about it. We're not talking about schizophrenia or whatever, any psychosis. This is the two selves, or could it be three selves theorem? Who's making the final decision? Who is the decider? Unpacked. Phone lines are open. Text, call, troll free. And let me kill this in Chi-Town. You can cue the show when you're ready. Please like, share, subscribe. 1. Oh, my bad. Let's stop share already. Oh, it lets you override it. You keep telling me that.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
I was very, very angry because I was learning about the history of what happened to us, and that's what Roots did to me. It brought a lot of those feelings out of me, and I became very disturbed by it, and I became very angry, and I started to retaliate in school. And it took my mother to come to me and tell me, it's a history, it's something that you should never forget, but you can rise above it and make an impact and make a change and make people aware of the pain that we have endured. But at first I was very disturbed by it, and I retaliated in some ways, violently. We used to go to other pools, and he would take me, and as soon as I get in the pool, they would get out of the pool. You don't forget your heritage, but you move forward in trying to make a better life for everyone, and that you always want to be viewed as a person. Reach back and pull someone with you.
In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the show to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be cleared and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child, for said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Love Show is a lesson, not a lecture.
You know, we over east, man. We chilling, me and my homie. And so he was on the phone. So this how they caught us sleeping, because he was on the phone. I'm coming out the liquor store. I go to the car. He's still hollering at his homeboy at the phone. He come from the payphone to hop in the car. And while he hopping in the car, I'm thinking he just, finna finish hollering at his homie. He said, man, Twitch just gonna get him what he want. I'm like, what do you mean just get him what he want? I look. Man, I'm talking about, he probably had a 4.5 or whatever. The motherfucking barrel looked like the size of a peanut butter jar hole that day, goddamn it. I was like, God damn. So my instincts, I got a little jewelry on, so I snatched my arm back a little bit, and he noticed I had, man, what you doing? And it looked like he was finna bang. Then that's when my guy was like, Twist, just gonna get to him. Then he heard him say, what, Twist? Then he realized it was me, and the same dude that was finna get me, he ended up telling me his rap name, broke it down to the knee, let my homie get in the car, sat there and spit a verse for me and everything, and let me go. Wow, that's what you call respect right there.
And even in this instance, if I could be a service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
You can't handle the truth. Coming around here in those white suits. Are you on my frequency? Are you on my frequency? That's crazy. It lets you override, but it don't let me override. Let me check something. Nah, that ain't coming through. That's crazy. Go figure.
It's the Self Luv Show. The Self Luv
Go
Show.
figure.
Self Luv Show. We do it
All right,
for
y'all.
our people.
Self love, vision, brain, smarts, Still got 'em. Welcome to another edition of the Self Love Show on This Ain't That Network, or as we say, TATN. Yeah? McDonald's, McDowell, ESPN, TATN. This is your co-host 9 Millie. All praise to the ancestors, the Most High, and my late beloved Mama Scott. Love you and miss you. Today we're gonna go ahead and unpack the two hemispheres of our brain and how they are independently operating. That's who our contention is. We'll go ahead and explore how they communicate with each other, how they influence our behavior and personality, and what happens if and when they are disconnected or damaged. We'll discuss a scientific experiment that may prove our two-self theorem. Alien hand syndrome? What's up with that? How can a unified mind emerge from a brain composed of tiny packages, all having different responsibilities? Who, what, or when is the decider? So stay tuned for an exciting and informative journey into the brain, the great unknown. Sit back, relax, and enjoy another edutaining episode of the Self Love Show. These are lessons, not lectures. We are live in living color. And today is Sunday, August 6th, at about 2:16 p.m. in the shop. And as always, you cats can be anywhere. Guess I couldn't turn the volume down. So. As always, you cats can be anywhere in this magnanimous universe, but thankfully, we all chose to be here together. Here, together. What down, Shot Town? What down? Bear down, bear down, what down? What you manifesting today, brother Wordsmith?
Love, man. You know me. I'm manifesting love. What you manifesting?
Ditto, good brother. Pure, magnificent, magnanimous. Some have said tough. Others have called it harsh or harsh. But love just the same, good brother.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hey, what's been going down in your neck of the Shot Town since we last connoitered?
Been having lots of craziness and turmoil. It's still have the people are still coming, undocumented people, and they are all in the police stations, and the results pretty much everywhere. I don't see them in South Shore area like that though, so that's good.
Yeah, bro, they're talking about giving private people, like for instance, you can take them in your crib, and the government will, give you money to be like your foster kids, so to speak. Nothing bad can come from that, huh?
Yeah.
White people.
We do it for our people, so yeah. Not all people, our people.
Yeah, M1, melanated first. So, all right, y'all. So if you may not know, and welcome, we appreciate your support. Please hit that, smash that like button, that thumbs up, and share it on your social media platforms. This is uncut content, quality. What to expect on our format. We always have the Self Love Show quote of the day. And then we have our more growth and development video. It's the platform that we're standing upon. That's more growth and development. And of course, we like to show our government interacting. So we'll run a quick clip, and we'll decide if what the government's doing to its citizens is tyrannical, or if they're following their oath. Your mind is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to waste. So we always encourage you guys to exercise it. So we're going to lay out a riddle, a dome teaser. And we'll, at the end of the show, we'll give you the answer if you guys can't matriculate or process, the proper key. But if you do get it, we encourage you to type it into the chat. But self-love normally slaps you guys around. Last week, Israel came through. So today's topic is the two selves theorem. Who's the decider? This is Unpacked. Our phone lines are open. They are troll-free. Again, that number's 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Troll-free.
Again, it's 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Absolutely, positively troll-free. Trolls get holes around here.
We'll make you famous. I'll be your Huckleberry. All right, y'all, please smash that like button, and then we close it out with my personal favorite part of the whole shebang. And that number's pinned in the chat, by the way. And then we close it out with my personal favorite, which is Wordsmith's final words, where he's going to break everything down in metaphysical, off the rip, top of the dome prose. I do encourage everyone to stick around for that. Yeah?
No doubt. No doubt.
All right. So let me stop. Maybe it's too late. Oh, before we do that, Self, you got any announcements, bro?
Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, share it far and wide. I had something, but I didn't blown my mind. Second week in a row, I think.
Yeah, well, what he said, like, share, subscribe. Let's get them in. All right. And if there's any neural scientists, wouldn't shock me if we had some in here. Anyone who's had, brain injury or brain surgery, you could probably chime in. Maybe you had your corpus callosum removed. You don't know what that is, but we'll educate you on that today. Okay.
What are you doing, man? Corpus? Somebody did?
I ain't read a book in 25 years. Yeah, big ups to literacy. All right, y'all. Enough of my yapping. Let me turn it over to this noob so he can handle business.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the Self Love Show. Today we are embarking on the two selves theorem. Who's deciding? Unpacked. Y'all know the phone line's open. Troll free, of course. As always, we have a very important video, the Silverback More Growth and Development platform, which we are building the Self Love Nation off of. But as always, before that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. Human brain is the supreme creator of all fortune. It is the biggest miracle of nature, which makes all other miracles possible. Once again, human brain is the supreme creator of all fortune. It is the biggest miracle of nature, which make all other miracles possible. And unauthorized, I don't know the author, but
yeah, unknown.
That's
big ups to my man out there, DJ Creeper. He said zombie like, yeah, brains. And big ups in the yo to Santos de la Rosa.
Yo. Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Number one, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number two, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And three, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influence. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen. We closing the gap. Yo,
What's going on with number 10 there, fella?
Protect our women, children, and men by any and all means necessary.
Absolutely.
You know, I got this
Mandatory.
thing running in the background. I'm trying to get off.
Uh-huh. I hear you there, fella. I hear you. All right, y'all. If y'all didn't catch last week's show, we had an awesome guest, and we've classified this guest as a white male, Caucasian male, but definitely not pink. Man, unpacked some great information that I'm still processing out there. Ex-U.S. military drone specialist on operations. Big ups, Matt Goddard.
Yeah, that was awesome. Chock full of information, just like every self-love show. And it would help your brain if you go back and watch. Promise you that.
Brains. It
Like
definitely
how
would
I
help.
did that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and you guys, your brains. Yeah, and it's important because sometimes you might want to start leaving your cell phone at home, huh, Sal?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you always need it.
I always feel like somebody's watching me. They play no tricks on me. I'm 100% sure that somebody goes, and big ups Michael Jackson, rest in peace. Somebody was a ghostwriter for the Billie Jean song. I just can't believe he pulled that out of his bum.
I'd have to look and see if there's writers on that. You know what I mean? Because they were crediting people in R&B and all of that. They give them credit out there.
And big ups to Squirt the cat, walking back and forth in front of the camera out there. Big ups. That's one of the producers of the show. All right. Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? All right. So y'all know today we're going to be talking about the two selves theorem. That's definitely what we need to go ahead and get broken down. All right. But self-love. Did you see 12 press Pookie viral video?
Viral? Not sure, but definitely doesn't know it under that title.
Yeah, I know you stay pretty unplugged. 12 press Pookie. Big ups. This is fair use. Big ups ABC 15 Arizona. 12 press Pookie out there. Like, share, subscribe.
What the?
Breaking developments tonight from the ABC 15 investigators. Phoenix police just released body camera footage from an incident that's gotten international attention.
ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biskobing broke the story. An officer handcuffing and detaining a Wall Street Journal reporter who was interviewing people outside a bank.
Press.
Dave's here now to take us through the footage.
Looks like a Pookie. Coach with a shower.
And I heard him say he was going to leave.
Up until now, we've only had cell phone video that shows the moments after reporter Dion Rabowen was handcuffed. Now we know what happened before. On November 23rd, as Officer Caleb Zimmerman walks in, you can see Dion in the background talking to a man on the sidewalk outside this Chase Bank near 32nd Street in Cactus.
Hey, what's going on? Okay, what's...
So he keeps asking people, like, if they have accounts here, and, like, making them feel really uncomfortable. And so we went out there and we're like, hey, we're just making people feel uncomfortable. Could you leave? And he's like, no, I'm a reporter. I'm not leaving.
Okay.
An important point here. Weeks before this story ever went public, Chase Bank apologized to Dion for what happened. According to the Journal, the bank admitted they were in the wrong. The police never should have been called. Now to the moment the officer approaches Dion. From the first word to handcuffing him, it's just 90 seconds. Watch.
What? How's it going?
All right, how are you?
You get your ID on you?
Yep.
Can I see it?
Why?
Because they want you trespassed from the property.
What's that?
They want you trespassed from the property.
What is trespass from the property?
That means you will be notified that you're no longer allowed to be on this property. If you return to this property, you'll be arrested for trespass.
Why do they want that? They never asked me to leave.
Okay, they said they came out here and asked you to leave because you were making customers uncomfortable.
No, they came out and asked
He
me
knows
what I was
his
doing.
rights.
I told them what I was doing.
Yeah.
They said I wasn't allowed to solicit. I said I wasn't soliciting. They said they were going to go talk it out with somebody.
Okay.
That was the end of it. They never asked me to leave.
Okay. Well, right now you are being detained for trespass because they have told me they've asked you to leave and you're still on the property.
Detained for trespass.
Number one, you haven't asked me to leave, so
Okay.
I don't know what I'd be detained for.
Because once somebody from this company or this
Right.
property asks you to leave,
Okay, so like
and
I
you
just told
remain on the
they
property,
did. But also, am I on the sidewalk?
you're on private property.
So this sidewalk is private property?
Correct.
Okay. Again, no one informed me of that either.
Okay.
You just told them they never asked them to
I do,
leave.
but there's no reason I can show it to you because I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay. I'm going to officially trespass you from this property, which means you are required to provide
Right,
your,
but
your
what I'm
ID.
saying to you is I haven't been asked to leave. If I had been asked to leave, I would have left.
Okay, the next step is I put you in handcuffs and you get arrested for trespassing. Is that what you want to
Wow,
happen?
look at this escalate.
Okay, they're going to trespass you from the property.
Right, I don't
Since
need
you're
to be
still here,
trespassed from
you
the
do.
I will leave. I'll walk away voluntarily.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I just said I will
turn around,
walk
put your
away
hands behind your back.
I will walk away
This is-
voluntarily. I will walk
Yeah, he's out
away
there looking like a
voluntarily.
common everyday fool.
This
Why-
is
Low
what
end.
am I doing?
Looks like he doesn't sound like it, but
I'm not
Right.
doing anything.
Put your hands behind your back.
Pull your phone out. Please record this.
Put your hands behind your back.
Please record this.
Do you really want to make this worse?
Thank you.
Hey,
Make what work.
right now you
I
can
said
still.
I told you I would voluntarily leave.
This is
Look
when
at
the
him
cell phone
escalate.
video recorded by a
Right.
witness begins. We've played that video extensively since we broke the story. That witness is Caitlin Parody. We interviewed her a week ago, and now we know police were not happy she was recording.
As I said to you, Gary, you never asked to leave.
I'm fine where I am. I'm not doing anything wrong.
You want to get arrested as well?
After she stood her ground, he radioed that she was, quote,
he doesn't have
interfering.
hair.
You're just being difficult, and you've got another person interfering too.
At the end, Dion was released. Both sides frustrated.
And so a really simple way to deal with this was, hey, did someone ask you to leave? No. Well, I'm asking to leave now. Okay. Boom, look at that. We avoid the whole thing.
I'm investigator Dave Biscobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
Danny Masterson's wife.
All right, self-love.
Man,
What's your take on that?
it's ridiculous. And like I said, I think that guy I said 4'11". I think he was 3'11". He looked like some little troll type of person. I can't, comprehend this level of stupidity.
He was getting smacked around in the locker room in high school gym. That's for sure.
Man. And now he can pay it all back.
Yeah, we should start a little person's 3-on-3 league where, you know what I mean? We can have this guy in there.
Because that guy, he was a mental midget as well. Idiocy.
Well, this is
Came
an
into a
issue
line.
on so many levels, bro. I mean, you got the bank personnel lying and not doing their job and calling 12. You know what I mean?
And the feelings police, I don't.
Yes.
It made them feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
That's what's going on with that part. That's their thing. Well, it made me feel uncomfortable. Well,
Yeah.
Is that against the law? I guess it is if you're melanated to make someone feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, if you're melanated in a
just being yourself,
Well,
standing out.
if you're melanated looking like you're going to play midnight basketball with your fro, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's what it is. Had he been out there with a three-piece suit on out there, I don't care how hot it was in Arizona, and with a bow tie or a tie on, they wouldn't have felt uncomfortable. And this is a sickness of our country.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely white supremacy.
All right, so the militant midget shows up on the scene. And this guy acts like he's never heard the word or the term de-escalate. He
Oh,
acts
my
like
God.
he's never dealt with a trespassing case before. Because
I'm not sure that he has, because how he tried to handle it is, I'm going to trespass you. Now you're being detained for trespass, and
I
not even in
guarantee
the
you,
property. He's not
he
even
knows.
in the property.
No, he knows how to handle it. If that guy was out there, it was drop dead gorgeous, blonde haired, blue eyed, with hair like what's that guy's name? Plays for Jacksonville Jaguars.
He wouldn't even talk.
Trevor Lawrence.
He wouldn't even talk.
Well,
to him.
that's
Let him
no.
alone.
Had he approached him, he would have talked to him, and he wouldn't have come at that man like that, because he was called to the scene, so he would have had to do something. And he would approach that man, and he would have said, "Hey, oh no, they didn't ask. Let me go. Let's go. Let me talk to them. Okay, well, in order for me to trespass him, you have to." And that's what he would have done. That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's a training issue whatsoever. I think that guy doesn't have any hair, and he might be part of I don't know, Triple K. This is my opinion.
Hey, could be. A lot of them are matriculated into the police force.
You know how many times, bro, if you think about how many times they were going to Pookie and Ray you, and then until you start talking to them and articulating, and then they figure out, okay, he's working, he's this and that, he's a student, he's this and that and that. And then, it de-escalates itself. You know what I mean? They Pookied and Ray this guy. Okay. Pookie and Ray him. He got a lawsuit too. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he sued him.
I mean, he should have. It was, improper detainment. It was stupid.
Wall Street Journal. I bet he thought he had some YouTuber that was out there flexing his rights. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nope. He was out. He wasn't even out there recording. He was just out there. That's crazy.
Correct.
The feelings police. We've got to call the feelings police. Don't call the regular police. Use a non-emergency number.
And he lied and said that citizen was messing up his investigation. She was within her law to anybody out there, to record. We can record our public officials as long as you're not too close, as long as you're not. She wasn't. She was just filming.
Especially when it's in the public. You can record anybody that's in the public.
Yeah. You could go to the post office and record your interactions with them when they're working. They're government officials. Anytime you go down to the city hall and you're talking to them, give me your ID, son. You got to go to the back of the line. You can record all that.
Yeah, they got your rights on the wall, signs on the wall that says that you can do this. So
yes.
And doesn't say anything about the feelings and how the people feel or the feelings police, any of that.
Well, let me ask you a question. What would your discipline be for this officer?
I mean, probably have to remove him, especially if we had a lawsuit. Yes, remove him. Yes,
I'd fire him, and I would probably not replace him with a non-U.S. citizen.
Yeah, well, I would,
because they pass a law where people who are not citizens can become police.
Yeah,
I'd fire him.
Yeah, fire him, but I would also make him say he did something against his oath, so he can't become a.
So you decertify and fire.
Yes, so he can't become a.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty harsh. I don't know if I decertify him for that. It's not like he, shot Pookie.
Well, I mean, he was on his way.
See, 12 press Pookie. He's a press Pookie out there. And big ups to him. Tyranny.
Yep.
And we agree. You guys let us know how you feel. If you think it's tyranny, give us a thumbs down. If you like it, put the bum, put a bum or something like that up there.
He didn't shoot anybody, anything, but I still decertify him. I don't like that.
Oh, he walked right up to him. Give me your ID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like a homeless person walking up to you. Give me your wallet. 12 needs to understand that. That's what those who know their rights and know the law. Yeah. That's how they feel. All right. Well, let's push on. All right, you guys, please like, share, subscribe. Today's topic is the two selves theorem. Who's the decider? Unpacked. Phone lines are open, 424-900-6945. All right, we got another edition of Pink Crime out there. So big ups to Inside Edition. This one's called Danny Masters' Son. Yeah. Danny Masters' son. Fair use.
Danny Masterson's wife, distraught after a jury found the actor guilty of raping two women. Actress Bijou Phillips was comforted by her brother-in-law, actor Billy Baldwin, as she left the Los Angeles courthouse. Masterson was on trial for rape for a second time after the first case ended in a mistrial in November with a hung jury. In his new trial, after the guilty verdicts came in, Masterson was immediately handcuffed and sent to jail.
When the verdicts were announced, I heard this wail. I mean, it was otherworldly sound, and I realized it was Bijou Phillips,
Hung jury sounds
Danny Masterson's wife, and she was crying, and the judge asked her, "Can you maintain composure?"
Masterson, who starred in That 70s Show, is a member of the Church of Scientology. So were his accusers at the time of the attacks in the early 2000s, including Chrissy Bixler, who dated Masterson for 6 years. She first spoke out to actress Leah Remini on her show, Scientology and the Aftermath, saying that in 2001, she and Masterson went out for drinks when she blacked out.
I was like, what happened? I have no memory. And he just kind of chuckled. He started laughing and he said, "Oh, I had sex with you last night."
CC.
And I said, "Was I unconscious?" And he said, "Yeah."
The jury deadlocked on her case in the retrial, but found Masterson guilty of raping 2 other women. In a statement, Bixler says she is devastated that the jury couldn't reach a verdict in her case. Despite my disappointment in this outcome, I remain determined to shine a light on how Scientology and other conspirators enabled and sought to cover up Masterson's monstrous behavior. A Scientology spokesperson issued this statement: "The church has no policy prohibiting or discouraging members from reporting criminal conduct of Scientologists or anyone to law enforcement.
He said the
There is
church
not a
is following
scintilla
her
of
around and
evidence
harassing
supporting the
her right
scandalous
now."
allegation that the church harassed the accusers.
They do.
Masterson's sentencing is scheduled for August 4th.
Interesting, huh? I mean, that's interesting. Now, I'm going to ask you a question before you get going. If he was a beautiful, like Farrakhan says, beautiful black man, you know what I mean? Big ups to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
Would not have been a hung jury in the first place. It would have been convicted already, doing time.
And this would be a bigger news story. You know, speaking of the Cosby cocktail.
The CC.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you know, but that being said, allegedly, these are allegations. If he's guilty of this, the word she used, monstrous, does that say enough?
Yeah, I mean, if he's guilty, I mean, I just don't get it. Why they want somebody to be passed out when they have sex with them. I don't understand that part. It's interactive activity.
It's got to be something in the brain out there.
Yeah. The brain, both halves ain't agreeing and shit. Something not making sense because
Santos said, "Yo, DJ Creeper said he a bum. He has no business being a cop. So I think he wants to decertify you."
Yeah, 311. Yeah.
I'll give him another chance. I tell him he have to grow his hair. You know how they tell us you cut your hair and cut your dreads off, or get your nice fade. I tell him you'd have to grow your hair back. You know what I mean? Come in with it slicked up.
Get you a nice security job somewhere, buddy.
Unarmed.
Completely unarmed.
Mark Daniels said, "That is one insane church. You're not going to have me on a public forum out here in the Los Angeles area saying anything bad about Scientology."
They'll be picketing your house and hacking our show and taking all our content down.
Yeah, we're not saying they'll be doing all that, but yes,
that's the stuff they do.
Yes, they won't be, harassing and following me around. That's not what they do.
Yeah, one of my good friends was a part of that situation for a good time.
Some sort of melanated?
Yes, he was the highest rated melanated in there. He was so
From
good
Chicago?
at the technology. Yep. And that L. Ron Hubbard drove around. He didn't talk to him, wouldn't speak to him, but he drove around him like 6 times in a limousine.
Marlon Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
Oh, I thought you said Marlon Hubbard. So you think he's a spook? You think your friend may be a spook? Because the spooks may infiltrate organizations like that.
Yeah, nah. Nope, not a spook.
Wow.
Not a spook.
Teach his own. Teach his own.
I have
to
his
your
book,
point.
somewhere, a couple of them.
Dianetics.
No, my partner.
Oh, he wrote some books.
Yeah, he wrote a book about it. About Scientology.
Yeah. We might have to get him on the show and see if he'll talk about the book for our literacy series. All right. DJ Creeper said, "Don't trust that story. Did she get a R kit? I don't believe that garble." Right. All right. Let's see. We know some people make stuff up. That's true. There's multiples though.
Oh yeah.
Not saying that multiple people don't lie, but
right.
Yeah.
Especially from that organization.
Yeah. I agree. People do lie, but you'd have to be targeted. They'd have to get together and say, let's go for this money grab and let's go after Church of Scientology. You have to be in the clean. Brother Daniels said, Brother Daniels, what does he mean by you have to be in the clean? So
is that clean or clear?
Oh, clear. You have to be in the clear. Good point. Okay. All right. So today's topic is the two selves theorem. Who's the decider? Unpacked. Phone lines are open. Now that number's 424-900-6945. That number's what?
Troll free.
424-900-6945. It's pinned in the chat. That number's what?
Absolutely, positively troll free.
Yeah. I'll be your Huckleberry. All right, let's get to the dome teaser before we get on topic, bro.
Yep.
So here we go. This is you guys' riddle. You guys can use your brains too. Don't sat around and wait for Brother Wordsmith to resolve all these. Okay. All right. There are 5 sisters in a room. Anne is reading a book. Margaret is cooking. Kate is playing chess. And Marie is doing the laundry. What's the 5th sister doing? One more again. There are 5 sisters in a room. Anne is reading a book. Margaret is cooking. Kate is playing chess. And Marie is doing the laundry. What is the 5th sister doing? Self Love's matriculating over there. Don't see his immediate thumbs up. And so, let's see. All right. You gonna matriculate on it a little bit, so?
Yeah. What was the first line again?
I'm about to post it in the thing here, bro.
Okay.
In the chat. Let's see here. How do I? There we go. All right. So yeah, if you guys please like, share, subscribe, and self-love. Enough of the appetizers out there.
Let's quench the self-love nation's thirst.
All right. We're gonna get on topic here. Whenever you're ready, production, do your thing. Next week on the Self Love Show, we're going to get into the hemispheres of the mind. Are there, 2 conscious beings, separate but equal beings within our avatar? And if they are, then that little bit of the brain that's separating our brain, it's the glue that holds everything together. I mean, it's some freaky stuff going on up there in the brain.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they made the mass majority of our planet right-handed. And
they should try to beat it out of the lefties.
No, they did. They're not using.
Well, I wish when you was coming up, they was beating the shit out of you for calling you evil. This guy's the devil. He's using his left hand, and it makes you more consciously aware of what you're doing, as opposed to having your subconscious just running everything all the time.
Crash test dummy, but they told me.
The decider.
And your cousin said to you, why do you talk like a white girl?
It was one of those kind
you
of
can kill
moments
that.
where
You
it
can
was
kill
like,
that. You can kill that.
you're not like us. And it was because of.
Appreciate it. All right, so it's in the chat. Let's see. DJ Creeper said she's doing nothing, and Ann is reading a book. Yeah, it's a good memory. He was answering your question. So I did type it in there. DJ Creeper, that is not correct, but you're not wrong because you did try to use your brain. All right. State of clear means a person has supposedly overcome the reactive mind and is in complete control of their analytical mind. And look at Brother Daniels with his mathematic brain. He did solve today's dome teaser. Brother Daniels, big ups. Hats off to you. I didn't know they can solve riddles in the East Boogie. You know what I mean? I thought all they did was play football out there. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And, you know, and melt steel. But yeah, he's right. You see how he got that, Self?
I can remember the very first line, not what the first sister was doing. So,
all right, you guys, let's go ahead and push on and get on topic. Let's see. So, the brain, Self. Let's go ahead and talk about some generalities, what we know about the brain, which is the final frontier, in my opinion. You know, you've got the ocean and you've got the human mind. But what is the brain and what's its function? It's kind of what you've learned from big science and kind of also what On High is telling you, bro.
there, one side is more logical and approaches things from that aspect, and the other is more creative and handles things from that perspective. I can't remember offhand which is which. I know that one is assigned to language in the spoken form, and one is kind of language in the written form. And it's much more than that, but
Wait a minute. So if I ask you what's a car, you'll tell me it's a carburetor and a this, that, and the other. You'd start breaking down the components. I mean, I'm not knocking what you're doing. I'm just saying that's
one side of your brain kind of does that, and the other would.
But what is the brain?
What it is.
What is the function of the brain itself? Since it's supposed to be one, although we see two.
The function of the brain is to take in the sensory from our five senses and make a reality out of this holographic world we're in. It's taking the energetic frequencies and matriculating them to an image and hearing and interpreting all of that. It's an organ.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, and we're going to get into the components next, but we'll definitely get into it. The brain, essentially, it's an organ. To your point, allegedly, it controls thought, memory, emotion, touch, motor skills, vision, breathing, temperature, hunger, and every process that regulates the body. I've said on this show, we all should be wearing helmets. Unless you're in the shower,
I think
we're wearing a helmet.
I think some of those functions are is a brain type organ in your gut area.
Gut. Go ahead. Yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah, it makes a lot of decisions. That's why they say use gut feeling. Had a gut feeling. Also, it controls the hunger and it controls like temperature and stuff like that. I don't think that's attributed to the brain in your head. Its main job is to interpret and store information and your mind is what utilizes the stored information.
I've heard this theory, and you know, it could be a reason why like Josh Allen pukes before every game. You know, I used to have that butterflies. I mean, some of these things you're saying can't be denied. I mean, even the octopus has multiple brains functioning. The octopus will blow your mind, you know, but that's interesting. That's very interesting. So, so you were going into the physical structure. So it's definitely, as you guys can see behind me, it's divided into two halves, or they call them hemispheres, and they're connected by corpus callosum, which is literally the biggest organ in your body, they say. It's a very large bundle of nerve fibers. These two hemispheres control the motion in and receive sensory inputs from the opposite side of our body. So, you know, it's divided into two hemispheres. Each hemisphere has an outer layer of gray matter, the cerebral cortex, and an inner layer of white matter. The cortex has a large surface area due to its folds and comprises about half the brain's weight. The cerebral cortex is responsible for processing, so you guys can come up with these dome teasers, and interpreting information, while the white matter transmits that information to other parts of the nervous system. So, yeah, so you were talking about the hemisphere, self-love, what they control. So you got your right hemisphere and your left hemisphere.
Yeah, they vary in people. Like 92% of the people are right-handed, so they are similar, but they're still within the right-hand people. There's differences in how the brain is.
I think 87% are right-handed.
Okay, maybe it's 92% of the right-handers are that. Not out of the amount of people who are right-handed, but out of the right-handed people, 92% of them their brains are structured the same. 8% of the right-handers is kind of opposite. And then they said lefties and ambidextrous people are and sometimes I think it's 60-some%, I said, the opposite. And use the different parts of the brains for the opposite of most right-handed people. And then I guess it's a lot of them that are in agreement. You have their brain structured the same way as right-handed people. It's different. It's the plasticity of the brain is amazing. Injuries can be, you know.
It's almost a separate living being because it regenerates itself, rewires itself,
to restructure itself.
Yes, puts workarounds in. Yes,
and they've lied talking about damage to the brain can't be healed. That's not the truth.
It definitely heals. It may not go back to the way it was. You know, there's people who get brain injuries and end up paralyzed the rest of their life or die, and then there's other ones who get that same brain and obviously not the same, but can have the same injury, do the same to like dive into an empty pool, and all of a sudden they can play
they're
orchestra, and they can speak another language they never heard before. Stuff like that, bro. That's crazy.
Savant dish.
Well, it tells you, I think, that all of our minds are somehow connected.
Absolutely.
Because how could the information be in here for me to play like Beethoven if I've never learned it or practiced? What if you did that self and you could play like Michael Jordan? And that happened to you at 22 and you was better than Jordan. Yeah, I never hooped before, and I was Joe Dumas out there, and I dove into the pool and wow.
It's only one mind, so you know we always talk about that. The science of self. It's only one mind. We have to fake individuality to experience, and so all the minds are tapped together. And That's why when you have a great idea and then you don't tell nobody, and then you see your idea out in the world, because the idea was in the mind and in that field of the mind where anybody tuned to that frequency could get it.
Yeah, that's the God body. The two hemispheres are not identical in their functions. They have different strengths and weaknesses, and they work together to create a unified experience of reality. The left hemisphere is more involved in speech, logical reasoning, and language processing and comprehension. The right hemisphere is more involved in spatial awareness, creativity, intuition, and emotion. But now, so to your point, I've investigated this whole thing about left-handers using this side of the brain. What's happened is, according to science, is if you're a lefty, that just means that your hemisphere's functions are switched. It doesn't mean that you're using more of this type of thought versus this type of creativity. It means that I'm a right-hander. So what they're saying is the left hemisphere and me is more involved in speech, logical reasoning. You're a left-hander. That means your right part of your brain would be doing that, and your left part of your brain would be doing the other thing. That's how they're saying the brain works. It doesn't mean that because you're a lefty, you're using more creative part of your brain than righties. It just means that your brain is inverted the way it's set up.
For some,
yours is double inverted because you had dyslexia.
Yeah, for some, it's because that's what I was talking about. Like, is some not it's small percentage of right-handed people that have it switched. 8% or something. At least the statistics that they use.
Yeah.
And then there's, maybe 35% or something like that of left-handed people who they're still oriented the same way. But even that is plastic though, because the way it happens, you can some of those things can switch sides from the research that I've done. So it's just really different. The brain is they don't completely understand.
No,
that's the long of it.
No, we'll never. How can you understand something that is doing the understanding? You know what I mean?
Well, the brain to me is an organ, and the mind gets the understanding. I mean, the mind uses the brain to interpret the impulses and the intake from the five senses. But for me, the mind uses that. And it's not the brain that you do your thinking through.
So the brain is just a vehicle for the mind.
Yeah. Well, the whole body is really.
Okay, so the mind is encased within the whole body, or is it encased? You're saying it's
the mind, the body is encased in the mind. I think that's a field that is outside the body. That's how when you get close to somebody or near somebody, you can, if you're empath, you can feel them and feel what's going on.
Yeah.
I think the mind is outside of the body. It's like a field around the body.
Yeah. So the brain is probably some sort of receptor or antenna.
Yeah.
Or satellite. And it's on a frequency that's just programmed to your particular mind or my particular mind. It can, obviously it can.
It's broadcasting too, so other people can pick it up.
Yes.
Yes. It's particularly to you.
Yes. It's definitely broadcasting. And it's receiving other people's signals.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, so
Y'all know what this sound means. Volume good, or can it go up?
It's cool.
Okay.
Y'all know what time it is. It's that halftime. So we have gone into the brain and discussed what we've been taught and what we've been told about it, and our interjections and what we think and feel about it. And next we're going to expand the conversation and take it to a new level. So in the meanwhile, got a few videos, excellent videos, informative, that will give you the information you need. So listen up, and we'll be right back at you.
And your cousin said to you, why do you talk like a white girl?
It was one of those kind of moments where it was like, you're not like us. And it was because of my speech. At this point, the viewers who are watching this, there are a lot of people nodding. Because when you grow up in the neighborhood, you know, you could get your butt kicked going to school if you looked too uppity or if you were studying too hard. So I had to grow up learning these two languages of how do I fit in with my family and my community and still excel. This wouldn't be the first time that my identity would be challenged. My parents from very early age encouraged us to put our opinions on the table, to ask questions, to question the context of situations. You could speak your mind, but you had to be respectful, you know, and if you got out of hand, you got to look, you get a spanking. They weren't freewheeling parents, they were still black parents.
And we ain't always been a problem to you niggas. You see what I'm saying? Who was the problem before we had all these guns and shit?
The police?
Who else?
The judges?
Who else?
The DAs?
Exactly. We was never the real problem. Who the f gave all these guns to the U.S.?
The mother feds.
Why the fuck they putting them all in the black community?
Go out. Trump said go out. Trump said he sent the feds in.
I'm just saying, why the fuck you won't catch no white kids with no guns? Like I say, we was never the real problem. You see what I'm saying? We just made each other problems. I swear to God. You see what I'm saying? But if everybody opened their eyes and everybody was smart, like they say they is, nigga, you can get on that song and talk that shit. Shit, trying to put some effort into making things better, nigga. Like real shit. Like all these rappers and all these niggas, like they want to go to the club, throw 10, 50 down. Do something else with that shit. You see what I'm saying? Help poor people.
I believe staying humble, knowing that your purpose is one of the things. And once I found my purpose in music and in art and knew it was for something higher than me. It was dark because I was really absorbing what's going on in my city of Chicago. A lot of people have been losing their lives to gun violence. And we, as people, have been killing each other. And it pains me to think about my city and know that we are going through that. I love Chicago. I love people. So that was like me being a voice in different ways about where this comes from, some of the darkness that we experience, people who are being marginalized, people who are being oppressed, unarmed people being shot by police officers. So I really was just discussing a lot of things that were going on as a whole in America.
There's a difference between a police report and a statement. A police report is the police side of the story. You gotta always remember that. A police report is the police's report, is the name. A lot of people have been getting back from a lot of years. Do your homework on John Burrs, a cricket officer in Chicago, forging people's statements. But yeah, he got his ass took down. 12 is so bogus in cricket. They are, okay, let me see. Boom. Like, say this, say, okay, like, on our block, like, we used to be on our block, we out there, you know, doing our 1-2. So how 12 would do it, say, you know, they hit the block, we all out there, you know, it's raining, rocking blows, throwing rocks and blows everywhere, you feel me? So what the police would do there is by, even if they don't even like it, they might not like it, they might find on the floor, I know FYBJ Main ran for me last time, so they'll grab it, put it on you, right? And they report, who out the bam, I found it in his pocket.
I wanted to do business. My brother became famous, and we had an opportunity to leave that world and go into another world. That opportunity came, hip hop hit. Charlie told my brother Eddie, yo, this is the wave of the future. This is going to be huge. Eddie did not believe so. It's a fad, and moved forward. And then there was an opportunity. I wasn't a rapper. It was an opportunity because of my brother's fame for me to get a recording contract with Clive Davis's company, with Arista Records. I could have been afraid and said, nah, but I wasn't. I've never been raised to be afraid. So I took advantage of the opportunity, and I did it. And I started learning how to write, learning how to rap. It was a perfect time. It was all, pretty much it was new. And I went from being an artist to, we did some things with touring and merchandising. I touched a lot of aspects of Eddie's career, and then kind of just graduated to my own thing.
Was it true that I have my cell phone and my location, and if I became a target, that a drone could literally know where I am and take me out?
The police have a drone that from TV and stuff that is real, and I've seen it. It shoots, it shocks people, but there's also a drone at the border that's in a box, and if you walk up to it and it pops out, and it can tell if you're Hispanic, and it shocks you, and then Border Patrol picks you up. But yes, wow. It is capable for them to hit you with whatever they want, whenever they want, because drones are not only stealthy, but these Air Force drones, these Global Hawks, these Predators, these huge drones that no one even knows about, are in different levels of the atmosphere, surveying targets in America. So you got your Bluetooth, you have your cell phone technology, and then you have your Wi-Fi. That's why when I go to the casino or anywhere I don't want to get hacked, I turn my Wi-Fi and my Bluetooth off.
Yes, y'all. We're back. Self Love Show, where we are unpacking the two selves theorem. Who's deciding? Let you be decider. We talked about what we've been taught in the history of the brain, what we've been known, and now we're going to expand the conversation and grow your evaluation.
Yeah, we do it for the people. That's right. We do it for the people. Thanks for sticking around, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed those videos. Big ups Cap TV. I see you in the building, and big ups KS Kick It TV in the building. So yo to those guys. Yeah, and to your point, self-love, let's go ahead and get dig more into this topic, the two selves theorem. Okay, so we're going to talk about like how we figured out as humans that something was going on up there that we weren't aware of. It came through, you called it a lobotomy, which actually it turned out it was. For epilepsy surgery, they lobotomize you. They remove the corpus callosum and the experimentation thereof. But to your knowledge, a seizure out there, that's a big, side effect of epilepsy. What is a seizure? What's going on out there?
From my best estimation, from what I've read, because I've not ever had a seizure myself personally, but it's like a feedback loop, where both halves of the brain is sending a signal, and it's not a good signal, and it's short-circuiting something somewhere. And you see people,
that was on point. Seizures are, they liken it to an electrical storm in your brain. So we've got current running through us, and it just a power surge. To your point, think of it as like a power surge.
Yeah,
and it starts firing all throughout the brain. So they do the brain surgery. They do the surgery to remove the corpus callosum. This creates a barrier between the hemispheres, which can block that electrical input from traveling.
Yeah.
So it nearly stops after you do this. They rarely have seizures as much.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's a lot milder because it doesn't get to go across the hemispheres.
Back and forth, because that's what it seems
Correct.
like. It's a feedback. Like,
it's exactly what people, they be having seizures. They can have it for like 48 hours. I didn't know. Like, bro.
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah. I mean, mild, and they, you don't quite know. They know, but
yeah.
But
yes,
it could be so mild that they could still kind of function. But there's seizures that where people just freeze. Those are seizures too, in a lot of ways. Be like, hey.
Yes.
And then they come back and
So, and even some people are born without this corpus callosum. So they kind of feel like they've noticed that since they started doing these surgeries, some people aren't born with it. And the thing is, they said that after, so you have this part removed from your brain, you don't feel any different. You're just not having the seizures anymore.
Right.
Which is mind blowing. Your brain is no longer, quote unquote, communicating with the other side, the other hemisphere, which means now you literally have two brains. You have two gonads. You have two, breasts. You have two, ears, two nostrils. It would seem to follow that you have two brains.
I mean,
two brains.
Well, you already have more than one brain, which we discussed anyhow. So the logic, the logic of what they talk about, the logic that they've taught us is not on point. So,
the logic they taught us is we have two brains, and we have one brain, and it's separated into two hemispheres. So it would be like conjoined twins. My contention is it's like conjoined twins. They're saying it's just one body with two hemispheres.
Yeah, the conjoined twins is a better, because if one half of your brain shuts all the way down, the other half can take on all of them.
Yes,
the neuroplasticity of it can take on the whole shebang.
Yes.
So
it's almost like it's a backup. They're both backup energy supplies for each other, but instead of just waiting till the other one dies out,
they split the responsibilities.
Correct.
And then the hemispheres are also separated because they got a frontal lobe.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not sure what the other part is called. Frontal lobe. And frontal lobe is in both hemispheres, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing about it.
Okay.
So, I mean,
so if you have a stroke and one side, you have a stroke and one side kind of shuts down, the opposite side to what's messed up.
Yes.
People tend to have different personalities when they have a stroke.
Yes. And lots of brain or different brain injuries and stuff. Look at CTE. Some of them become violent, some of them shut down. But so all right, so people are born without this corpus callosum. There's other injuries that can damage it. We've got most human beings, as we said, in most human beings, the speech is controlled by the left hemisphere. The speech is controlled by the left hemisphere. And I think that's why, when they say, did you have a stroke, was it on the left side? You know what I mean? And then those are the people it affects, their speech and stuff like that more. Now, the right side controls the spatial and temporal information, which would be like the when and the where. So, you know, it's, I mean, to even try to, you know, it's a lot of philosophical stuff going on here when you try to unpack this.
Yeah, I mean, intuition, creativity, kind of stuff you can't touch, you know, physically. It's a lot going on with both sides, and them working in tandem is ideal, I would think. If you could get your whole brain on the same page, then you really doing some shit.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so it could be like a couple, right? So you could take a married couple. They each have different strengths and they're communicating, but then the communication part is removed. It doesn't mean that each individual will stop their functioning. It's just that the right hand doesn't necessarily know what the left hand is doing and vice versa, but they should still theoretically be doing the same functions and moving towards whatever goal that is.
Yeah. With no communication.
Which brings me back to the experiment. So what they would do is cover up, like they would, so in most people, the left hemisphere controls speech, right? So that would mean information that's being brought in to your right eye. So what they would do, is they would show them something on the screen or just only in their left eye. And then they would ask them to say what they saw. And they can't say it. And then they'll ask them, oh yeah, they know what it is because it's proven. Yeah, so the brain can't communicate to the other side, to the speech side, to say what it is. They haven't even told the side that speaks. The side that speaks doesn't know what it is. However, what they did is they said, well, okay, since it's his left hemisphere, they give you a pencil and they tell you to draw what you saw, and they can draw it. And then, you know, and you know what I mean? And then they draw it. And then they say, well, what is that? And they'll say, well, that's a basketball. And that's how it got communicated. Now they can say it because that's how it got relayed and communicated to the other side. But it's mind-boggling that from your point of view, you know, your first person view, that they can remove this or it could be damaged and you don't feel any difference. You could probably understand this. Help me understand it.
It's like, it's unleashing, actually, because it seemed like this piece may have been purposefully put in place to stop our complete expansion as beings on this planet. Because if it worked as one, a lot more can be done. You can affect the physical realm with your mind. It's been proven. And if both of your hemispheres are working together as one and not, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this one thing, you can do a whole lot more in this realm. That's for sure.
It's almost like you'd have two of them, two brains working on your behalf.
Yes.
As opposed to the one brain making all the decisions.
Yes.
Because it's, you know what I mean?
It's one you're focused on, that's for sure. That's why when you take it apart, then you don't feel any different, because it's one that you focus on.
Yes.
You know, it's one that, you know, the other one might be that voice in the back, you know, now that you think about it, some of the voices you hear, you know, I don't know if, you know, not literally a voice, but you know what I mean. That that in your mind, you be like, what the? No, I would never do that type of stuff. Or that's a great idea. That part. That seems like there is. That's the communication. That's the. I'm unpacking something here. Okay.
Well, you're going into the side effects, which yes, we definitely want to keep it there. So some side effects of the surgery, right? You know, some subjects when deciding what to put on or, you know, what to wear or eat, each side of the body is acting independently of the other. So you can find yourself making chicken and a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? That blows my mind. So, you know, you're putting on clothes and then you're taking them off and putting on something else, you know. They've shown
a lot of that.
So if they get up, you know, you decide I don't want to give me a beer. You open the refrigerator and your other hand closes it. You open the refrigerator, your other hand closes it.
I've experienced that too. I'll get up and go to the refrigerator. I'm like, damn, I'm not drinking no more right now.
Yeah. Like, or what did I come here for?
Oh yeah, I have that too. But I've had a significant brain injury. So
yeah. So subjects are able to separate images simultaneously with each hand, meaning they can draw separate images, you know, which is mind-boggling. I used to try that. I think at grade school, they told us to try it. I'm like, I could do that. You know, I never tried it before. You can't do it. But when they shove that thing out there, to your point earlier, imagine yourself, you could be doing your homework. You know what I mean?
Macking a knob.
Yeah. That's crazy. and he means, you know, playing video games. If anybody doesn't know
terminology from the regulators out there.
Now, that's
because that could be a whole different terminology.
Yeah. Now, patients report not noticing or feeling any differently after these surgeries, but the you know, hemispheres just aren't communicating to one another allegedly. But alien hand syndrome, Self, what do you know about that? Alien hand syndrome, another phenomenon of the human mind. What you'd say, Brain?
You know, they say that. Well, you kind of put it out there earlier, like split the mind, and you know, one could disagree, and you trying to get something, and the other one be like, no.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And it's like that image that you got the little angel and the little devil.
Yes. To your point earlier, when you were just talking about the voice saying, oh, that's a good idea, or I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? Or I'm not going to drive down this alley right now. You know what I'm saying? But you were about to go down there. And you're like, yeah, we're not going to down there. You know, exactly. So it's a alien hand syndrome. It's a rare neurological condition that causes one hand to act on its own free will without conscious control or awareness. The affected hand may perform tasks that are unintentional, such as touching the face. You could be buttoning your shirt, and then the other hand is unbuttoning it. They've shown videos. So the guy just sitting there, like we said, working at his kitchen table, and his left hand is doing something totally different. And typically it's the left hand. So in left-hander self, it'll be your right hand. That's crazy. I can't get around this concept. Like some people hands are beating them. One lady said she'd walk down the street and the hand would be going in her purse because she was a giving person. Going in her purse, just throwing her wallet out and her designer glasses before she figured she get home, everything be gone before she figured it out. Come on, bro. You know they would have told you were a witch back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, me personally, they did.
Now, if you can have that with some Tourette syndrome, you might have had some fun in junior high school. I can't control my hand, you dirty
mother.
Yeah, he can't control any of it.
Ass slapping.
Oh man.
That's a fat ass.
Yeah, you know, you can, you know what I mean? So can you imagine, bro, you know, a member having that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
no.
You got this alien hand. All right. They said it could be caused by various factors, bro, such as brain surgery, stroke, which we mentioned, tumor, infection, or degenerative diseases. It's often associated with damage to the corpus callosum, which is the part of the brain that connects the two hemispheres and allows for communication between them. It's also known as the Dr. Strangelove syndrome after the character in the movie who had a similar condition. The hand independently functions without the user's awareness. Sometimes it works to oppose the user. I mean, you know, Self, you could be trying to smoke your unmentionables and it's knocking the ashtray over. They say that at the grocery store. You know, you're at the grocery store and you're like, oh yeah, I want that. It's just like a parent. Yes.
Yeah, they're taking
Putting
it out
back.
for the. Yeah, well, hey. Sounds good to me.
But I think because they're not communicating, to your point earlier, I think you hit the nail on the head. When you have that connection, that communication and that back and forth is done already before you go over there and pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, it's like imagine your left hand, it would be your right hand. So your left hand decides for some reason to grab the pork chops, and your right hand is like, you know what I mean?
Get that out of there. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I mean, that tells me that there's two independent thinkers up there. You can't, that proves it's these people, these rarities, these oddities are proving that there's two, at minimum, independent thinkers. You mentioned the one in the gut. You know what I mean? To me, I mean, what else could it be?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they are responsible for sensory and creating this realm, and it's two of them, but you really have only focused on one of them.
Yes, that's the one, the dominant one somehow. And so, yeah, Self. So it's the one where you wake up and say, I'm not going to work today. I don't feel like it. But yet you drag yourself out of bed, you hop in, you hop in your car and you go to work. You know what I'm saying? And I think if that communication wasn't there, well, people say they don't feel any different though.
Feeling different. Most of our decisions are from the subconscious.
Correct.
So that eliminates some of the what's going on in the two brains or whatever. So I think the subconscious is one thing, even though these two brains are drawing from you. I think you're making a decision. So neither one of them is really making a whole lot of decisions, but it's the only one that you focus on. That's for sure, because that's the only way that you could feel no different. Unless they seamlessly go in between. They seamlessly went in between and then that wasn't there no more and you only be focused on one. And maybe some of the so-called people that's sick with schizophrenia and what is
there's something going on in the corpus callosum.
Yeah.
Maybe they can remove that and probably that would be they probably that would be a good experiment actually to see if they can do something with that.
Yeah, because it would seem like they see their other brain, part of their brain. they have a physical manifestation of it, the way they be talking to them and
Yeah.
interacting with them.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, why would I was gonna ask you something. I lost it though. Why would the creator make I'm gonna think about it after the show, and it's gonna piss me off. Yeah, because all right. So yeah, I mean, something's going on. I honestly can't explain it. I mean, this alien hand syndrome really blows my mind. And I've often wondered, why do I knock over my ashtray so much? You know what I'm saying, Self?
Yeah.
Man, why do I always knock my beer over? More than anything else.
Yeah.
Could be the alien hand syndrome.
Telling you something. Better pay attention. It's telling you something.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. Why would the creator wire it, allegedly? Whereas, okay, why is this hemisphere controlling this side of my body? Why wouldn't it just boom, bam?
It's a lot of things that are a mirror. It's a mirror. So, and we are actually
seeing a mirror image.
Yes, because we're projected from somewhere else. Our mind does encapsulate our bodies, but this whole broadcast is coming from somewhere else. This is an avatar. So it's the mirror image is the way we could see it properly.
We see everything in a mirror image, and we see it
upside
after
down.
it happened, like it's in the past. We're seeing it.
Yes.
In the past.
Yes. Not too far in the past.
No,
Not too far in the past,
milliseconds.
Yes. Absolutely in the past, though.
But the further away it is from you, the further in the past you're looking.
Yeah. I mean, you can see that far. Past where you can see with your physical eyes definitely take longer to get there.
All right. So what is perception? And who or what is the perceiver?
Perception.
So we were just kind of talking about how we
so
perceive things.
All of your senses wired to your brain, bringing frequencies in there, and the brain kind of deciphers things and gives information to the mind.
So it's running an algorithm where it's aggregating information, fed into it, experienced, and then we're perceiving things accordingly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why, like, certain 12 can see us, quote unquote, Pookie and Ray Ray, and perceive fear, and you wouldn't necessarily perceive the same fear in a given situation.
Well, yes, anyone for that matter. And likewise, there are situations that they would not be afraid of that I might have some fear.
Correct. But then that fear is projected through your, like we were talking about, your satellite device.
Yeah, everything. Your smells, because you when you're scared, you produce these
hormones.
Yes, hormones and
pheromones.
And stuff that fight or flight.
Yeah.
That sets your body up to fight or run. And you don't fight or run. So it kind of messes
So it's an energy, and it's a way that so we can pick up on it. That's why, so if somebody comes into a room and they got that hate, which is essentially a form of fear,
Yeah.
People pick up on it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
Smell that? You can smell it. You can smell it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's, intuitive. You can definitely smell it. I would agree with that. And it's, you can feel it too.
Yeah. It's all about the feel for me. I mean, but I was just being facetious with it. You can smell it.
Smell it. So, but who or what is the perceiver? Is it God or is it
the mind?
The one mind, or is it?
No, the one mind in a sense, but the one mind is off doing what it's doing. It's creating other stuff. It's not worried about the individuality, the so-called individuality.
So you're more on a fractal
yes
approach.
Yes.
Right. So the one mind isn't monitoring necessarily all these perceptions.
Yes, he's doing the next creation. He's worrying about expansion and doing his thing. Or him, her, or it, or it's an energy. It's not no man-made. Right. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, it's a misgender.
I'm just saying it's everything. Good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between.
Yeah. So in your mind, as we conclude, you kind of went there a little. Who or what is the decider, bro? Because yes, we do have, I hear people say it all the time. I'm debating on if I'm gonna do this or not. And I'd be like, well, debates between two people, and there's something going on. You guys can't deny you're not having these little debates with yourself. You know what I'm saying? And
no, you can't.
Right? No.
It's the reason why he chose those words.
I think the human mind is the only one, and somebody can check that, with the two brain system. And what I'm saying is, I think I've always thought that all living beings are conscious, but I don't think they have the debates. I don't think they have the capacity to debate. Because they'd have an opposable thumb.
I would think maybe dolphins.
Yeah, elephants, whales, sharks. Sharks are debating.
I'm not sure about sharks.
Lions.
Sharks are fish, and these are mammals I'm thinking about.
Yeah. It seems like your pet dog
and
debates.
Wait a minute, octopus. Octopus.
Oh, well, that's a whole. But your dog debates, because you train them to sit there while you're making a bowl, if that's how you train them, and it seems like a debate's going on there. Like, you know what I mean? Should I go for the food or should I take the spanking?
I think that's a
condition.
How bad? Yeah, conditioning. How bad the dog wants to believe you out there. Because so training is a process, and once it's locked in, it's locked in. They know. They be like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to sit here until they finish and whatever they got going on. So I'm just gonna sit here and wait for them to tell me.
It's a fractal. Do we decide as you grow older and come out of theta who the decider is? Do we make a decision that, okay, I'm gonna roll with this hemisphere? And if that's the case, who's making that decision, bro?
Some of that is pushed by right-handed, left-handed, traditional, what rules what. Some of that is pushed because that can be basic rule of thumb, but like you said earlier in the show, that it's kind of opposite for lefties. It is for some, so that's true. So yeah,
that's all they're saying is if you're a lefty, then it's just inverted on what the two different hemispheres are accomplishing. For most 80, it would be 87% of your lefties. But Creeper said, yeah, I had a brain fart. And he said, you smell that? Yeah. Yeah, and they come in there with that hatred in your eyes. You're having a positive meeting, about house festival. House stock, whatever, and then they come in there with that energy. Yeah, there they go. Animals don't go to court. Animal, no comment. Yeah. So, who's the decider, bro? You are the decider.
For the most part, subconscious.
I think I am. Therefore, I think I am.
Subconscious is the decider in most instances while we're using avatar.
Yeah, you've got your subconscious running the basic protocols. But who's I guess I think, therefore I am. That we're going with?
It's difficult to say, but whatever your dominant hemisphere, you don't really hear the other. You do, but you don't adhere. Maybe I should say that. Man, you don't adhere to the other one. You might hear it. And
I see what you're saying. It's possible some people
switch between.
Or tend to listen to the
other one.
In different ways, not judging them. That's why some of them can be so straight-laced, straight and narrow.
Right.
I'm gonna do this and do the homework, get that done, and nothing else. And then you got others who's I'm, just gonna lay down in front of 7-Eleven and hold my hand out.
Right.
To that extent.
Right.
Yeah, they just listening to one.
Yeah.
That's bizarre. Because ultimately, and that's why I asked the question, who's the decider? If there's some sort of internal debate going on, which in my opinion has been proven by the alien hand theory and other things we discussed today, someone ultimately has to be the decider, right? You've got 3 people in a room, they're discussing something and they're going to vote on it. Somebody has to be able to say, okay, if I voted one way and you voted one way, then you got to have a chairperson. I guess that's what I'm asking. Who's the CEO of this one?
Subconscious.
Wow.
The subconscious.
You are.
That's where
I think you're right.
It makes most of the decisions anyway. You got this all over the place. Some guys like, nah, I'm going with this one this time.
I'm gonna roll up another.
Maybe, yeah. Right. Right.
Oh man, that's a wild theory, bro. But I think you might be onto something there, Noop. I really think you might be onto something. So now this has been said by scientists, big science, the dogma. This isn't one of our wacky 10-hat, 2-brain conspiracy theories. The brain has at minimum 2 different streams of consciousness with different beliefs and personalities. I couldn't make this up, Self. I'll read it again. The brain has at minimum 2 different streams of consciousness with differing beliefs and personalities. You were talking about schizophrenia and stuff.
Yeah. Says who? Where did this information come from? I just want to.
I should have maybe gotten my sources here.
No. Just on the question everything tip.
Yeah. Well, no. It was a reputable science. Yeah. I'll start having these sources better for you guys, but so-called science. But they said through their experimentation, that's what they've discovered. I mean, come on, Self. If you're walking down the aisle and you grab a pork chop and your other hand throws the pork chop out of the thing on the floor, if you're walking down the street and your right hand is taking your wallet out of your pocket and throwing all the money on the ground, and you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, I need to know who the subjects were involved in this that type of thing, at least a demographic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is they've lied about everything. So, they make up stuff and then say it until everybody repeats it as fact. And it's just lies. So just on the question everything tip, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, because when people have that surgery, they don't, devolve into schizophrenia. You know what I mean?
Right. It could be an injury to that thing. It could be not completely formed right or what have you. Or I mean, like I've said before that,
But we've said so.
the
Even
people they got extra sensory perception. There are people who can see a higher frequency than we can, and they're
But-
all that stuff's around us. It depends on what your soul is tuned to. If it's kind of off tuned from the planet, then you might be able to see things and hear things and recognize stuff that's in both realities, but kind of live in one that most people can't see here.
you can't deny that you have a higher and a lower self. For instance, going through the process, which there's no hazing. Oh yeah, boy, we was talking about that stress card on Great Debated TV. Like that, we need to implement that. Stress card. Huh? I'd have loved to have a stress card when y'all was making me. All right, okay, but what do you think was running it as you were going through it? You think your subconscious, your right brain? For you, it's opposite. But what do you think ran it?
Subconscious. I didn't
go with the logical side of the brain.
No, I didn't know, because there were illogical things occurring. So,
yeah, I think definitely it becomes all subconscious for quite some time.
Yeah, it's a build to get there.
But somehow you're able to still process all of the information.
That's because the subconscious knows all the information.
Well, I mean, the information you're learning.
Right. I mean, it absorbs it. It knows it instantly. Subconscious remembers everything. And I mean, that's kind of what the process is about. If you can get everybody to operate on the subconscious, then you got something really going. They're operating at one if they can all get there.
Stress card. I've been making boys. This is my stress card. I wish I knew the things I knew now. When you don't want the stress card level to go up. You guys are, you pledges are raising my stress level. That's how it should be. A stress card. The drill sergeant should be showing stress card, saying, you know what I mean? This is where I'm at right now. That's the way that's used. But I'm a dinosaur out there. All right. All right, you got any final words on this before? Well, not your final thing, but anything else you wanted to comment on as we close out, bro?
No, I'll save it for
Wordsmith's final words.
Yes.
All right, no need to go over the riddle, but because it was solved. So big ups to Brother Daniels. Takes a beta noop, I suppose. Thanks for listening to our show on the two selves theorem. Today we explored the human mind. Do we all have split personalities? Are there two users per avatar? Maybe. Each component of our brain is like a musician within an orchestra. Maybe each component of the brain is like a musician within an orchestra. He uses his instrument independently as long as there is a conductor, which would be the corpus callosum. Will removing the conductor stop the music? Probably not. Science is certainly baffled by the brain, the final frontier. Please smash the like button if you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please feel free to drop a comment below. Remember, ask not what the culture can do for you, but what you can do for the culture. As always, question everything. The Self Love Show ain't Kansas, Dorothy. Peer down these rabbit holes. Do your own research. Use caution, because sometimes when you stare into the abyss, it stares right back at you. Peace and self-love. All right, bro. All righty. So we answered the riddle. Let's see here. Tomorrow on Mouthpiece Included, we're going to be doing the preseason there, fella.
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to just be unpacking mainly the Bears, a lot of stuff that's been going on in camp. You know, we got the games coming. Me and you, we got to change the schedule out there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We gotta get the schedule changed out there.
That's a fact.
Yeah, so let me check here. I don't know what it is. Be right back.
Let's go. It's been a very informative show. Had some revelations.
Can you break down the science of self?
Well, the science of self is we're all part of the self. We're all self. We are all cells of the creator. Just like we're made up of trillion cells or so, they say. We're all cells of the creator. Make up that body. And as above, so below. And science of self. We fake individuality to give purpose to the whole and to experience what we already know as if it's for the first time. And the two selves theorem is based on hemispheres of the brain.
Absolutely. Yeah, bro. And next week on the Self Love Show, we're going to be talking about the evidence or alleged evidence of reincarnation.
Outstanding.
You know, you got these young lads who'll say, you know, man, one of them was a officer with Hitler. Can you say Hitler on YouTube? I don't know if you can say Hitler, but yeah, he was part of the SS. Knew the records. You know, they be knowing names. So it'd be like, bro, it'd be like, man, you know, a shorty who
Ask
said
your
that
children.
who said they was Haywood Miller, rest his soul.
I'm
It'd be
saying.
like a shorty who can name our names.
Yeah.
A shorty who can talk about certain things that happened during the process, you know, stuff like that.
I'm saying, ask your children.
Yeah, I heard you.
Yes. Ask your children, well, who were you before? And as soon as they can speak, and you might learn something.
Yeah. Yeah. One kid was afraid of high rises, didn't even want to drive past it. And turned out he was allegedly one of the victims of 9/11 out there. One of the ones who jumped out of the building.
Yeah.
I mean, kid had terror, irrational, was from a small town, never even been in a skyscraper before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So this is what we're going to be unpacking next week. So I think that should be fun.
Should be very informative for a lot of people.
Absolutely. And so you guys make sure you tune in tomorrow when we do Mouthpiece Included. That'll be at 11 a.m. Central Time. But now I'm going to turn it over to this brother for my favorite part of the whole shebang. And that's going to be Wordsmiths. Final words out there. Can't hear nothing.
Welcome as always. I hope you had a greater day. Glad you tuned in so we could display this type of self-love. Ain't no push and shove, nothing above. Today we embarked on a mission to make sure you understood our vision. The two selves theorem, who's deciding? And I decided it must be the subconscious because it makes most of our decisions and all of our intercessions. They don't know who they messing with, but the blessings come quick and thick when you follow your right mind. And I ain't saying right or left. I'm talking about the one that's right in spirit and time. It's all by design. I feel like the Corpus Christi was put there to put us in prison. Because if our left and right hemisphere worked together, there would be nothing to fear. Nothing you couldn't persevere. But maybe that's why we're here.
Him, his, fear.
We gotta learn the lessons and earn the blessings. Gotta use our mind as a weapon. Fuck Smith and Wesson. I ain't second guessing. I'm straight undressing any parameters that can slow or stop us. Not no crooked laws, politicians, or coppers. Let's go to where we've never been. Wait a minute. To where we've been way, way, way back when. Let's develop and envelop our personal planes and leave a whole lot for these so-called racists to explain.
Who's really insane?
It's white supremacy. They want to act like it's skin tone, but it's status. Because many people darker than us are white in the law system's eyes. It's just fucked up when those so-called white people give them a surprise, the po-po. Because they don't know about your status until after they kill your apparatus. Words.
Words. Well done, my brother. Well done. All right. Y'all know what this means. Big ups to my man Kai Zodiac, K.A.
Yes,
and then Zodiac with a K. Man, know thyself.
Do you think you are the one?
Dope song. Honestly, dope MC.
Facts, facts, facts.
You know what that means? It's Latin. Means know thyself.
Hold on, sir. Bullets are boomerangs.
Stand your ground.
Murder. Suicide.
Yeah, man. An eye for an eye.
Silence is violence.
You see something, say something.
12. 12. Woo. Slave theory. Greed plus ego over fear. That's slavery.
Yeah. Charity plus humility times love. That's freedom.
Stop self-snitching. But more importantly, do not answer questions.
Question everything.
Fear is an illusion of your mind.
So vibrate love.
Forgiveness is the highest love vibration.
So do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end the beef.
Healthy people heal thy people.
Because we know for sure hurt people gonna try to hurt people.
Free the old man, Free Larry Hoover.
Free Chief Malik. Jeff Ford.
Free all the guys, man.
Prison is slavery.
Be Yahushua. Walk on water.
Man. Move mountain.
Move a mountain? How I'm supposed to do that, bro?
Hey, all we need is the faith of a mustard seed. And you know we got way more than that. That right there,
yeah,
it's moving out the way as we speak.
Don't seem like a lot of faith.
Don't take a lot.
Support the Self Love Show, y'all. Be giants out here. Know what you know not. Mind elevation. Love, honor, respect.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love, you just know it. Through and through. Balls to bones.
Self-love, honor, and respect.
Thanks.